Hello and welcome to day 29 of the No New November challenge. I have actually got some news, well not some news, I actually forgot to mention the other day that the butterfly has made its second appearance already, and congratulations to Deanna for being the first person to email me with the letting me know that she'd spotted it. So I will be sending off your paper pack next week. Yeah, so I'm really excited for you. Thank you for watching my channels, everyone. Sorry, my videos. I only have this channel. Yes, so today we are going to be making a what's the word? My brain is shutting off today. We are going to be making a tie for our journals. So my journal is like proper gator mouth now, with everything in it that it's got so far, and there's still more to add. So yes, I'm going to be doing a tie for this. Now normally this is the first time I've done a kind of more elaborate tie other than a basic ribbon kind of thing like this. And I'm a little bit sad that I haven't got a sewing machine to work with it, but that's just gonna have to be the way it is, really. Haven't got the machine, haven't got access to it, so I'm gonna have to be gluing it, and perhaps when my sewing machine comes I will remake it with some extra additional stitches. So what I've got is I've got my shredded bedding. I've cut this about 1 inch wide. You can do this as wide as you like, and I'm going to be layering some various different laces onto it. So I've got these laces here, but I'm also going to get some brocade, hopefully, if I can find one which I like, onto it as well. And I'm going to do like a 3-layer, and I'm literally I'm not going to fasten it to the journal because I don't want to be able I want to be able to remove it, basically. So partially so I can change it if I want to when it comes to the sewing, but partially as well I prefer not to have attached ones, really. I'm just going to take this off so it doesn't chink. Actually, I'll leave it on there. So we want enough of this to tie around. So this is going to be dependent on your journals. I know that this particular strip will be about 2 meters long. I want to have enough space to tie a decent bow as well, so I'm going to make sure I cut this with plenty to spare. And I'm just going to cut this. Now when I cut ribbons, I always cut on the diagonal. It means it's less likely to fray, and I think it looks a bit more nicer. So I'm just going to pop the rest of this to the side. You could actually possibly even do 2 layers of this if you wanted to. What might be nice is, depending on how wide the laces you've got, to do one which is a bit wider, maybe 1.5 inches, then a lace, then this which is 1 inch, then the brocade on top. But I haven't pre-thought that out, so I haven't cut a wider ribbon. Maybe I'll think about that for later. I mean it's the kind of thing I can actually add on afterwards if I want to add an extra layer, but we'll see how it looks first without. So I've cut this first. I'm now going to move this to the side because I don't want this in the way while I'm gluing and whatnot. So I want this to be the top side, so this is the bottom side, and I'm now going to find a lace that I want to add underneath. I found a load of lace that I had been given by my mother-in-law, a while ago, which was really nice when I was tidying up, and I thought, oh, I'll add this to my little collection. So I might use a piece of this, because then it's just about wide enough that you'd see something underneath. Possibly, but you do lose a lot of the pattern on this one. So although I do like the colour of it, it's kind of like a peachy colour. It's really nice. Let's pop that there so it's a possible. That's not going to be wide enough. I use these so much. I wish I knew where these came from. Let's have a look at that. So I'm just seeing what I know this is the back side, but it gives me an idea of how much is going to be visible. I think I quite like that, so I think I'm going to use this piece. So I'm just going to slide those over here. And measure a piece which is about the same as my width as my piece of bedding. You don't even need to have lace. You can just do a layer. This would look really lovely if you'd like coffee dyed it and then just literally tied it around in a nice pretty bow. Get a couple of them. You make yourself quite a thick, decent piece. And I think it would look really nice. You don't have to go to this kind of level of layering, etc. I'm just wanting to, because I've not kind of done this before. Like I said, all I've done before is really ribbons or what's the word, like twine. I've used twine as well. Now where did I put the little pin? There we go. So this one is so nearly running out. I've probably not got enough on there for another one of these, but still I'm still choosing to use it. So we've got that. So far this is how it's looking. You can see it a bit more on the black. Now what I am going to do is I am going to see if I have a piece of so I'm just going to get a piece of the cover material out just so I can see what it looks like against it. So far it's like that. Would it be better to be like that? No, I do like that. I still think I want something behind this, so I might have a look and see if I've got a strip of red ribbon or something to go with the red on the we'll see in a second, but let's choose this first. Now this is going to be dependent on what I've got, which is going to be wide enough. Let's have a look. All of these are vintage. I inherited them from various different people, from my grandparent, my nan, and my husband's pet grandparents. Now I like that, but I think it's not quite wide enough. That might be nice. Ooh, unless we put another layer of lace and then that over the top. Although I haven't really got anything this kind of gold. Let's see if we've got... I have got some red, but... let's just bring this in again. Actually, I don't think I need anything behind it when I've got this like this. I think that is okay. I will put another piece of lace behind it, but I think I like that. So let's just pull this out. I don't know how much I've got of it, so let's hope that there's enough there. Put this back away over here. This can go away now. Right, so far we've got one layer of lace, we've got one layer of the bedding, the other, we've got this on top, but I think I want to put something else below that. See what I've got in the various different bits of just a bit too wide. Too wide. Too wide. Too wide. Again, too wide. Too narrow. Don't want to use that one. Oh, that might be okay. I don't like the pink in the centre of this one, but because I'm going to be putting the maroon over the top, I think it might be okay. It's just about adding textures, really. Yeah, I think I like that. So this is what we're going to do. Now, I'm a little bit torn. I could hand sew it, which is going to be, well, not challenging, but not as easy. Or I could just glue it. If I hand sew it, this becomes an issue. If I glue it, I can make sure that that end is definitely all glued together. I mean, either way, I could just do that regardless. So let's chop this anyway and grab my Fabri-Tac. I want to glob that on the end so that it doesn't continue to undo, because we don't want that. So I'm just sealing the ends in really with the Fabri-Tac. So that's what I've done. See, a layer of Fabri-Tac which will stop them from unravelling, hopefully. She says. I'm going to pop a little bit on the other side as well. Really make sure that it's stuck in and not going to be coming undone. There we go. I'm just going to hang this over the end here because I don't want it to get stuck to anything as it dries. So we've got that. Now, right, so I think, oh, I don't know. Shall I hand sew it? I haven't done any hand sewing on this. If I'm going to hand sew, I'll hand sew it all together rather than gluing it together. It might be more secure if I hand sew it, although it won't be as neat. Unless I put... Ooh, I think I'm going to glue. I'm going to be lazy and I'm going to glue. You want to make sure you get a good... Ideally, I would do a zigzag stitch all the way down the centre of this, but that's not going to happen. I might end up hand sewing partially, just because I don't want to totally ruin the whole look. We'll have a look at how sturdy I think it is once I've got it all glued together. That's the thing with using Fabri-Tac and using it with lace, because it just comes through the lace. So you always end up with it all over your fingers. Right. Straight across, or you can't see me. So I'm just doing a line straight across the middle of this ribbon that I've cut. And then I'm carefully laying this down over the top of it. Oop. Trying to get it so it's about even across the spacing. Take off that layer of glue off my hands. And then the next piece. Glue burgers. Boo, boo, boo. Now what I'm going to do actually, I can find my room, is because this is going to be tied into a bow, you will see this on the back, and I think I might just put another layer of this, so trapping it between the two, then it should be a bit more secure, and it'll be more finished off at the end. So let's go to the other end, so I'm going to use quite a lot of glue for this. Now I'm going to do this, a line of glue on either side of this strip this time, so we're really getting this good sealed. So coming across either side of the strip. Hopefully this piece will be long enough. Oh, no. See, this piece is really short, so I'm going to have to use the next piece, which I think should be longer. Yeah, that'll be long enough. So I'm just going to trim off the end here to use. There we go. So just gluing down either side. And then bringing this in. So we're trapping the lace between 2 layers of this ribbon. Which will give it a slightly more finished look. And in fact, I quite like this. I would be happy with perhaps just stopping and tying this anyway. Although I do think I'm going to do the added extra, because why not while we're here. We've got some time to kill. Apologies, my husband is doing the hoovering downstairs at the moment. Bless him. If you can hear that, is if you can hear the hoover going off in the background. Bella. Sorry, my Bella is attempting to pull my carpet up right now, so if that's what you can hear in the background. So this is just going to be a lot of gluing and sewing if you've got a sewing, if you've got a machine, or if you want to do it by hand, you can do it as well. So if you're doing it by machine or hand, you'll want to place them all along, pin them in place before you sew, potentially. I mean, if you think well, it's not if you think, if you're confident enough, you can do it without the pins, but I would, particularly if you're new to this, do it with pins. So all we're doing is creating layers to add interest to our pieces. I'm using so much of this Fabri-Tac, I'm going to need to get some more. I can't remember, did I ask in one of the other videos the difference between Fabri-Tac and 3M? Is it 3M? Because I've got some 3 as well, but I'm not sure if it's the same or not. I can't work it out. So if anybody does know, let me know. The 3 in 1 even, sorry. So I've got these. I just wondered if it was the same thing, or if it's different. Do let me know if you know below. I'd be interested. Every day is a learning curve. There we go. Nice and straight. So I'm going to come to the corners again. Now the corner here, I'm going to use a guideline for the one which I've already cut. I'm going to cut through all of it, so the lace and the 2 layers of the bedding, just because I want to get the lace in the right place. Now I'm going to just glue the edge of this because I want to make sure that this is totally down. So give it a good like piece of glue. We don't want that coming unravelled. So make sure that's definitely glued down. There, so we've got a nice sealed edge. Again, if you were doing this properly with a sewing machine, you could zigzag stitch or overlock this if you have an overlocker. So this piece of lace kind of dents in here, so I'm going to come across here to this one here. So I'm using the lace as a guide to where I'm going from diagonal to diagonal. And then I'm going to take my glue and make sure that this is proper sealed in on this edge as well. This one's a bit more sealed in than the other one, so it's a bit more difficult to get into, but that is perfectly fine. That means it's pretty sealed already. Probably don't need to do too much. There we go. So that's both of those. Now I have noticed, I'm sure you can as well, well you might not, but for me, I've noticed that this, I've put this in a bit skew-if, can you see? I don't think it will matter too much, but where I've not been paying attention, this is wider here than it is here. Okay. So now I'm going to pop that to one side and take out this piece. Actually, now I need to measure how much I want of this. So I think I'm going to do this straight onto this actually. Let's just do this straight on. So again, we're going to go down the middle. I apologise if you're using glue and this is going to use up quite a bit of glue if you're copying me. I do think sewing does add a nicer finish, I will be honest. And if I had my choice, that would be the way I would go. But well, you know, already been there, already talked about it. I'm not at all bitter about having my sewing machine. Oh dear, I miss it. And then I'm going to go straight behind. So this is still tacky at the end here at the moment, but I'm going to go straight over that pink line again. I mean, because it's lace, some of this pink, some of this glue will be coming through from the pink below, which is why I'm doing it really in one go here. Rather than two pieces, because I don't want, I'd rather the glue adhere to this rather than nothing, so might as well do the two together. Right. Move this down. Next piece of glue, straight down the centre. You've got to have strong hat grip on to do a continuous line with the Fabri-Tac. I find you have to really give it a good squeeze. It can be quite hard on the hands sometimes. Let me know if other people have problems. I mean, it may just be because of my carpal tunnel that I get sometimes. I find it really hard sometimes to get, oh, it's not that I have it all the time, but it flares up at times more than others. But yeah. Oh, I've gone and stuck my hand in the glue. That was smart. You can feel it. You can feel the cold, wet glue as you put your hand down, and you're like, oh no. It's like when you're painting something or doing something with it which requires a lot of concentration or something like that, and you're like, oh, fiddlesticks. Straight down the middle again. So on Amazon Prime at the moment, I pay for the MGM channel. I am a huge fan of Stargate. I love Stargate, particularly, well, my favourite is obviously Stargate SGC, but I just love the characters they've got in the Atlantis series so much. And at the moment they've got a few of the first series available on there. I actually have them on DVD, but I'm just enjoying binge watching them a little bit through the on the channel. But oh, so good. I just love it. So funny. The comical, it's a bit, the original series with Richard Dean Anderson in, he plays it fantastically, the character. He's got quite a dry sense of humour, but I just find that the character, well, it's really, there's a character called Rodney McKay in the Atlantis series, and he's so comical. He's almost like, he's like the brainiac. He's like the person who's like totally knows everything, or he even thinks he knows everything, and he thinks he's the smartest person in the world, and it's his kind of him interacting with other characters is just so funny, and the storyline's just a little bit more, I don't know, interesting. What you in the SG1, you have many kind of bad guys, but they all kind of stem from more or less the same race. Towards the end you meet a new kind of super race, which is quite harder to deal with than the ones that they've been dealing with along the way, but it's I don't know, it feels samey towards the end. I still love them and it's still my favourite, but I just think that the series has a kind of almost an original take on it, and I just loved it. The Atlantis kind of spin-off, so good. But as with all of them, it did get cut off, and it kind of leaves it on a bit of a cliffhanger myself, or at least I think it does. I mean, other people probably disagree with me. It kind of gives you a finished, complete story, I guess, to a certain extent, but I feel like it could have gone on for longer, and I know they were obviously running it down for whatever reason, probably ratings, I don't know, but you don't get series like that anymore. They don't, like, there are many different series on online, and there are quite a few good-ish sci-fi ones, but none of them kind of compare to it the same way. Around the same area there was a lot of really good sci-fi series. I really liked Farscape. I really liked Andromeda. Really liked Andromeda. That was like one of my favourites as well. I mean, Stargate was by far my top choice for science fiction. But I really liked it, and I was a bit gutted as well, because I started to watch the second spin-off series which they did, which was what was it called? Stargate Universe, and I thought that I was just starting to get into that when they put it on a cliffhanger and stopped, and I was like, no. Oh, it's so annoying when you get that. You start to get into a series. The first series are a little bit hard to get into as they were setting it up, and I think people just didn't watch it through. And I wish more people had watched the second series of it, because it actually did kind of start to become more interesting and develop a bit more. It had a kind of, I don't know, it was kind of sort of a similar basis. They kind of go and explore somewhere. They think they find somewhere a bit further away. They go to do it, and then they get stuck, and then it's them trying to get back home, to a certain extent, or just survive. But it's just such a good series, all of them. I'd recommend if you haven't seen them and you like science fiction. Where have you been? Watch them. Right, so now we've got this. Let's get my journal back in. Tie this around. Oopsies. Perhaps I should have done the tie double-sided. That might have looked nice. Almost done it double-sided. This is going to be a big, thick bow though, so not sure if I like it like that. So let's have a look, see if there are many ways you can tie something. Sorry, I'm just playing now, trying to work out how I want this, because it's quite chunky. The knot is going to be quite chunky, and I'm not sure if I want that. So the other option you can do is you can just wrap it and tie it, kind of tuck it around itself. Just going to see what that's going to look like if I do that. Bring this about here. Sorry, I just got to take it off camera just to do this wrapping thing. Let me know in the comments what you like to watch, if you like science fiction, or if you like comedies, or you love romance, that kind of thing. Or I mean, I know you know that I like Big Bang, which is just such a good TV program too. So let's tuck this under here. Tuck this under here. There we go. That's what I'm going to do. So in order to do this, I've wrapped it round once, I've tucked it underneath the band which stays all the way around, and then I've created a loop and just tucked this back through, and there we go. Have a nice, just adjust it. You know, you don't have to do this. It's got a nice crossover at the back. I think if I was doing this again, I may end up trying to do it so the bow comes down, but quite like it as it is at the moment. So there we go. Tomorrow we're going to be making some clusters, which is quite simple, easy to do, nice and nice and easy to do, quite relaxing, using up some scraps, and tomorrow's our last day doing this project. I hope you've enjoyed this today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.